on YouTube. Yeah. Yeah. All right. We are live on YouTube. We are live on YouTube. How's everyone doing today? How's it going, everybody? Welcome to episode number 1239. That's right, episode number 1239 of Navigating the Modern World with Eli, the Walking with Purpose live edition, live today from Red Morton Park. Today we're going to be talking about, what would you like to accomplish by the end of 2026? What would you like to accomplish by the end of 2026? My lady, respectfully, professionally, and maturely, or respectfully, maturely, and professionally, Don is in the house first. Tia second. Welcome to the show. There are a lot of things that I would like to accomplish by the end of 2026, but not just for me, but for everyone. I'd like to see everyone be a winner, right? Because in my book, there are truly no losers. There are truly no losers. And I think that's the same book that God and Jesus come from. There are truly no losers. Now, of course, when we have competition, such as in sports, such as in the Niners getting their butt kicked yesterday by the Seahawks. Yeah. Seattle, Washington. That's all good. They have a great team this year, the Seahawks. They outplayed the Niners like there's no tomorrow. I mean, I thought they were gonna run out of gas after the first quarter or by the end of the first half, but man, they kept going, and Niners just couldn't keep up. Anyway, hey ODN, how are you doing? Welcome to the show. Before we start talking more about about what I'd like to accomplish by the end of 2026, and you folks can tell me in the chat if you like, or if you're here on the replay, you can mention it in the chat, or mention it in the comments section. Now, YouTube has a new feature that they've rolled out recently, last month or two. They may have been testing it before, but I just got access to it a few months ago, and I've been using it for comments. You can actually set your comments to subscribers only, and then you can still set a strict setting, right? So in order for people to even comment in the comments section of my pre-recorded videos or live stream replays, you need to be subscribed. And I have it set to, no waiting period once you subscribe. You can actually set a waiting period just like you could do on the live stream or within the live stream chats. But I have no waiting period. As long as you're subscribed and you don't see anything too bad, the strict setting filter on YouTube will let your comment go through. If not, it'll be held for review. And if it has to go to the held for review box, then you're probably not somebody that is a good fit for our community here of positivity, right? But before we get to that, I have an update from the earlier stream I did here on GNA2, Genuine Live Personal Development. I did a stream earlier updating people the latest on my circuit civil case against the defendant, a guy that I'm suing out here on YouTube that's been commercially exploiting me and defaming me for dollars for the last 6+ years. And that's the best way to describe it. In a nutshell, commercially exploiting me and defaming me for dollars. Right? Now, yesterday I filed 2 DMCA copyright takedown notices on him. And I know what he does. He files a counter notification every time because most people are not going to sue him. I've already said anytime I file a DMCA on anyone from this point on, I said that a while ago, if they file a counter notification, they're getting sued. So, I mean, this guy already knew he's going to get sued. But anyway, earlier on the stream, I mentioned that one of his counter notifications went through. The second one just went through about 30 minutes ago. So the defendant in my circuit civil case has filed 2 counter notifications, and he's signed those counter notifications under penalty of perjury, and he agrees to service of process, right? So that is that. To recall a little bit of what I said from the stream earlier, in case you missed it, you should go back and check out the whole thing. It was not that long. I think it was like only 50 minutes long. So I did file 2 more copyright certificates today on those 2 videos that my copyright was violated on by the defendant in my circuit civil case. I did file 2 more copyright certificates. They were on live streams that happened during the first week of this month, 2 weeks ago. They were published about 14 days ago or so, and well within the 90-day period of registering something to qualify for statutory copyright damages. So now, and I mean, I don't know, ODN. I don't know how you would feel if you were in this guy's shoes. So now I've got 3 other copyright certificates that I filed the end of December. Now, that's on content that he did watch parties on. Massively abused my copyright. I did not file DMCA takedowns on those. You don't have to file for a copyright and sue in court. But these 2 I did file. And basically, you know, I was saying, hey, look, you know, if he files a counter notification, we're going to add them to the lawsuit. But the bottom line is, because it's going to take 2 to 3 months to get those certificates, for these 2, I'm going to sue him in the Copyright Claims Board, and that case will be filed tomorrow. And to file a Copyright Claims Board case, that's also, you can do that the moment you file for your registration. You don't have to wait for it to be registered. But in order to file in federal court, you have to wait for the registration, or at least for it to get denied. If it gets denied, you can still file, but you have to wait for an approval or a denial before you can file a lawsuit in federal copyright court. Right now, in the small claims Copyright Claims Board, he can opt out. He probably will, but I've got to file it there because that's my only option right now. And we'll see. Maybe he'll want to fight part of it in the CCB. But at the very least, you know, I'm going to send that to YouTube, and YouTube will keep those videos down. So, I mean, the bottom line is, whether he filed a counter notification or not, those were going to be added to the case, regardless. So, anyway, that's just the way it goes. So, just updating you folks here regarding what's going on. I talked a lot about the other stuff in the previous stream I did here earlier on GNA2, and then Don and I also, between that stream and this stream, we recorded episode number 44 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast. This week is going to be a great episode. It's basically, I'll give you all a little hint. No script, no nothing. It's going to be about Dawn redeeming herself as a public figure. Dawn redeeming herself as a public figure. This is going to be, well, it's pre-recorded already. It's already uploaded and ready to go. But yeah, this is going to be a great episode on the other channel, GNA, Genuine Personal Development. The main channel is where the podcast is at, or we're on Apple, Spotify, Amazon Music, my lady's favorite, iHeartRadio, and Amazon's Audible, and YouTube's Music, and all the rest of the unknown. So look for that this Wednesday, episode number 44 of the Don and Eli Take on the World podcast, Wednesday at 11 a.m. Eastern, 8 a.m. Pacific. If you want to watch the video, go to the main channel. If you want to listen to audio only, do a Google search for Don and Eli Take on the World podcast and find your favorite podcast provider that provides our show. You'll see it there through a Google search. So, yeah, we've got a lot of stuff going on. Lots of interesting things going on. And, before I get more into, what I'd like to accomplish by the end of 2026, what I feel I'm going to accomplish, and you folks can share with me in the chat. Odian says if he was the defendant, he would ask his mom to ground him from his computer. And you would be smoking a lot of what if you were him. What's going on, broski? I'm sorry I missed your show earlier. It's been a very busy day today. But I think you're proud of the fact that I'm asserting my rights. Man. I know the U.S. Copyright Office, where you register your copyrighted works so you can sue in federal court, or in the CCB, Copyright Claims Court, Small Claims Copyright Court. I know they're a government agency and you can't buy stock in them, but if I could buy stock in the Copyright Office, I would, man. I'll tell you, man. It's $65 a piece to file those, man. $65 a piece. But it's worth it to protect your rights. And, when somebody's violating you and there's statutory damages, the return is going to be a lot better. And more importantly than the return of the money, it's going to be the fact that the infringement is going to stop. Right? Let's see. What is that? $360? Is that right? For all 5 of those certificates? But hey, they're all within being registered within the first 90 days of publication, and they all qualify me for statutory copyright damages. Whew. That means I don't have to prove any loss of income. I'm not going to sue for loss of income. I'm going to sue for statutory damages. And also injunctive relief, right? Like a protective order. Same thing in the civil case, circuit civil case, right? But we're going to try to throw in damages in the civil case, which don't require loss of income or having your finances fished through, right? I know that the defendant and one of his partners, Miss T, would love to have a fishing expedition at my financials, right? But it's not necessary because I'm not suing for monetary damages for loss of income or anything like that. This is all statutory damages or injunctive relief, right? Or punitive damages, right? You know what, ODN, that Louisiana man, he's been botting us a lot lately. Again, slow botting us, right? Those aren't genuine numbers that are here right now. He's slow botting, leading us to think that we have 80 people here because it's not a big number, but that's him botting us. You know why he's botting us, ODN? He's botting us because he doesn't remember that stream you were on with him on my channel. Do you remember what? Do you remember what the Louisiana man said? I can't even talk. Do you remember what the Louisiana man said on a panel of mine 5-6 years ago? He was talking about watching certain movies with his wife, ODN. Please tell me you remember that. Dude, please tell me you remember that, ODN. I know you remember it, dude. You were there, and you kept on saying, this guy went on Eli's show and said he watches. I'm not going to say that here because, I'm a monetized channel. I got to keep it clean. Come on, ODN. You remember what he said. I'll wait for you, man. I'll wait for you. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me clearly and see me clearly. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me, please. One, thank you. Oh, you remember, Sandra? Sandra? You remember what Louisiana man said? I can't even talk. What Louisiana man said on a panel of mine? That video, I took it down right away. I had the backup somewhere. ODN was there. I got a certain recording of somebody, but I'm not putting it out because they have not been bothering me. What you do is on your own. I wouldn't recommend putting it out. Otherwise, he's going to go at you. I'm not going to put it out, but he was denying it happened. He was denying it happened. Can you at least just confirm it happened? ODN, he did come on my panel and say that he watches certain types of flicks with his wife. Right? Come on, dude. Gee. This group of people, man, I swear to God, this has got to be like the weirdest bunch of misfits like somehow started surrounding me. Maybe I'm like the peacekeeper of them. Maybe I regulate their emotions just by talking and being the reasonable one, right? I'm not going to confirm or deny it because he hasn't been hanging out with my enemies. Fair enough, dude. Fair enough. That's like you pleading the fifth, right? So are you saying, ODN, that you're asserting your Fifth Amendment rights, the right to remain silent, right? ODN, that's cool. You can plead the fifth. It's all good, broski. I mean, pleading the fifth is the same as saying, I just don't want to admit the truth, man. He hasn't come at me, man. I just want to sit here and smoke a little bit. And come on, dude. It's all good. It's all good. I'm not going to put you on the spot, but Sandra knows. You did a stream on. I have your stream too somewhere, ODN, where you went live and said, this guy watches blah 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 with his wife. Dude, that was funny, man. Oh God. I can't do this anymore, man. I can't. I'm not going to say what neither. Yeah. Are you pleading the fifth too, Sandra Palacio? Are you asserting your Fifth Amendment rights from self-incrimination? Self-incrimination of telling the truth, right? Which is not incriminating yourself. All you would be doing is confirming it's factual. I have the evidence. It's like, okay, he could try to sue me for defamation, and I'll say, well, Your Honor, I wonder if he somehow ended up in the Judge Stacy case. Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, this guy was accusing somebody that's part of my network for saying that he watches the CP. with his wife. And to be clear, there's two different types of that. We're talking about the CUCK. Yeah. Right. Right. I can only imagine if somehow Louisiana man ended up being like a witness for the defendant in the circuit civil case. Like I wonder what like Judge Stacy would think of this whole group. You've got the defendant, his weirdness, you've got Louisiana man's weirdness, right? And you've got Miss T, like I don't know if I was a judge. Man, I tell you, I'd probably flip my lid. I'd probably be jumping over the bench. My own bailiff would have to restrain me. I probably would get removed and disbarred and probably jailed because these people would just annoy me so badly with their dumb behavior. All for YouTube clicks because they're so miserable about their real lives, right? They come out here and project like a massive projector. Judge Stacy will need therapy, says Tia. Probably. I feel bad for Judge Stacy already. Oh, man. But let's start talking about, what I'd like to accomplish by the end of 2026. By the end of 2026, I want to at least triple the amount of people that show up to these live streams. I really want to start getting some good engagement going. And I really feel that we're heading in the right path. I'm starting to go on some other shows. I've been a regular contributor to the GLM show, and I've been very grateful and thankful for that. And, all right, I just lost the connection, but now I'm back. I hit reconnect. Put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me clearly. Can you put a 1 in the chat if you can hear me and see me clearly? All right, babe, so we're good. The reconnect did work this time. Thank you. Thank you so much. Yeah, it looks like they're going to start to tear this down over here because the Niners lost. And there's no need to do the Niners stuff anymore. Hey, you know what? Next year. And I believe, like Don was saying, the Super Bowl is at Levi Stadium. It would have been nice for the Niners to, play in the Super Bowl at their own stadium. That would have been cool in Santa Clara. Yeah, but anyway, 49ers. Oh yeah, I think you meant to say they sucked big time. Yeah, it was an embarrassing game. I mean, they got pounded. They got pounded by Seattle, I'll tell you. It's all good. Washington is not a bad state. The thing is, they get a lot of rain there, even during the summer. That's probably why I wouldn't want to live there. But hey, Washington's all right. The West Coast, Washington, Oregon, California, all good. All good. Yeah, there was a lot of subliminal messages, and there's a bunch of those clips. I really don't want to show all of them, but there's a bunch. Oh, yeah, I've got them all too. I know, ODN, we're trying to be better people, right? And all these people would have to do is de-escalate, right? But anyway, again, I really want to triple the active amount of people in our chats and surrounding us on YouTube by the end of 2026. That's not asking for a whole lot. We've got here probably around 10 to 15 active, consistent people, right? I'd like to get that to 30 to 45. And I think once we're able to reach that, I really think the rest is just going to continue to compound and build on its own. That's one of the main things that I'd like to accomplish by the end of 2026. What about you folks? No excuse, but many of our... Yeah, no, we had a lot of injuries. You're right, Sandra. And injuries will affect you. Yeah. Well, injuries will definitely affect you. GLM is a hoot, says Sandra. I need to jump into her chat soon. Yeah. Now take a look at that person that's saying, I'm glad I got to catch live soon. Do you see the name of their channel? They're making fun of the way I say February, right? What am I going to say? February? February? Should I ban you now, Mr. Defendant, or not? Man, this is obsessive compulsive behavior, man. I mean, I swear to God, I really think this guy really wished he had family like me. I just don't get it. I don't get how he just is so invested in my every single moment out here. I mean, it's surreal, man. It's surreal. You're not him? Then who are you? Why are you making fun of the way I say February? Well, you were hidden by Tia anyway. Do you really think that I'm stupid to not pick up on these things? Right? And even if you were the defendant, you wouldn't admit that. You would say you're not. Like from a VPN or something. Right? Like, what was the purpose of you coming in here? What did you think you were going to ruin my day? Do you think you're going to ruin my chances of my case by coming in here? Do you think you're going to trigger me by saying something really childish and stupid? Like, what was your point of creating the sock account and taking the time to do that? Are you miserable and have nothing better to do on a Sunday night? I mean, I'm just trying to keep it real here. You know, if you want to create another sock account and answer the question before you get banned again, feel free. All right? Feel free. Yeah, Sandra, thank you for the message behind the scenes yesterday. I was gonna take a nap and catch the second half of the Niner game. That's another reason why I didn't walk. And I was tired. I've been going hard at the paint. I've been creating lots of content today. Again, 3 pieces of content today. This is the 3rd one. But hey, take a licking and keep on ticking, right? Take a licking and keep on ticking. I need the rest, Eli. Yeah, you need rest, or are you saying that I need the rest? No, I needed the rest too. Don't get me wrong. Like the Energizer Bunny, that's right. No, lots of stuff going on too, Sandra. I've got a lot of filings to file before the hearing on the 6th. And I'm pretty much ahead of the game, and I've got I've got to file a copyright claims board case tomorrow, and then make some court filings for the spoliation hearing. So it's been a lot, but you know what? It is what it is. I know you do, yeah. Yeah, I'll tell you honestly, I can't wait for this to be over. The thing is, a lot of people on the other side would say, well, you can just dismiss the case. No, then it would be worse. I can't wait for it to be over with a positive outcome for myself and the people over here at the GNA, and for justice to finally be served after all these years, you know? I'll tell you what's. Let me ask you folks this, okay? This is what's been interesting to me, and I'm just putting it out there. I wasn't counting on this for content or anything, even though the defendant will flip it that way. But you know, I figured the moment that I sued this guy, it would be getting a lot more attention. And it really hasn't got much attention besides from him and his group. And I don't know if that's because he's dominating the algorithm with our content and the way he abuses it, or if other people that have seen it and know about him just don't care about anything to do with him. I think it might be a combination of both. But what do you folks think? I figured other people that have dealt with him in the past, like even like Granny's Watching Jess and MD and just many other people that have been a victim, you know, of his content or a victim of his Legion group per se. I think a lot of people already knew that this was going to happen. So a lot of people knew this was going to happen, but they don't see it as important enough to even be talking about it. Either that, or they don't want to give him any notoriety. Or I don't. You would think this is a big case. This is a big deal. This is a big deal, and typically something as big of a deal as this would be getting a lot more traction throughout many communities, and that is not happening. Sandra says, I'm so proud of you. I'm proud of you. You listen what we have to say, but you are doing all the legwork, unlike the other person who has many people accumulating stuff for them. That's why theirs have been caca, huh? No, I am listening to what you're saying, Sandra and Tia and my lady Dawn and ODN and all, but I do a lot of research online. I analyze things. Yes, ChatGPT is one of the best. Google AI is good too. I use Google ChatGPT. You know, I use some other resources. People think I'm like just religious to ChatGPT. I'm not. You know, I do a lot of research, many different ways, and I don't just tell ChatGPT, give me a PDF with this, and then just submit it. I may get some information from all places like ChatGPT, but then I manually put it on a Word document that's perfectly formatted, like a law office would file. And once you have the right template that I made, you can just duplicate that template and change the heading. And that's all. Change the date of the certificate of service and all that. And respectfully submitted by date. And the rest is just whatever context you need to fill in after you analyze it many different ways. But yeah, I appreciate that, Sandra. Thank you very much. It will be huge when you win. It's a big cost. It is a big cost, Tia. You know, I'm not going to speculate because you just never know. I think my chances of winning the case are far better than his, but you know, only Judge Stacy and the potential jury, if it goes to the trial, it'll be by jury. Or if we do enough depositions, then I can request a summary judgment from Judge Stacy, and it'll be up to her what she rules. I think that this case can be resolved before going to trial. That's going to be up to the defendant. Now, when we go to the copyright court, I don't know if I'm going to request a jury trial or just put it in the hands of the judge. Speaking of copyright law, I think I would have a better chance of just, doing a bench trial. So I got to figure that out. But I can always change it up in the circuit civil case and request, a summary judgment from the bench by Judge Stacy instead of going to trial by jury. ODN says, I'm proud of you doing all that all by yourself, unlike the other guy who I'm sure has everyone, including his mom, helping. Yeah, he's getting all this help from everyone. Like, I'm doing this all on my own. Like, Dawn is very supportive, but Dawn doesn't know how to do this stuff, right? So Dawn isn't even helping me with this. No one in my family's helping me with this. This is all 100% me, while doing many other things, right? This guy has Miss T. He's got other people over there. He's got his parents helping him. He's got help from everyone. And the funny thing is, in my opinion, he's still getting outdone by one person. The funny thing is this. If anything, right, this is the odd thing. He's got him and 40 other people coming at me and helping him with all this stuff. I'm on my own, and I'm still producing much cleaner and more professional lawyer-like documents. I'm not trying to flex anything. I'm just saying, when I believe in myself, when I believe in something, I'll fight for myself. I'm not going to go to anyone else. I don't need to go to anyone else. I shouldn't have to waste anyone else's time. Right? But someone like him is used to getting a lot of attention, and when he doesn't get a lot of attention, he's like a little crybaby, right? What happens when babies don't get attention? They keep crying until they get attention, right? So what you're supposed to do is walk away from them and let them just cry, and don't go back until they stop crying, right? You teach them responsibility. You teach them good behavior, right? No one ever taught the defendant good behavior, so he keeps crying until he gets what he wants. He won't shut up till he gets what he wants, right? Because no one's ever walked away from him for him to ever feel any kind of a loss, or to be able to be accountable, to be able to be held accountable, He has a bunch of loose ends. If you want the job done right, you got to do it yourself. No, you're right, man. I'll tell you this. Like I've been saying all along, ODN and everyone else, even if I hired an attorney, if I could afford an attorney, I probably wouldn't even hire one. Why? Because who knows your story more than you? Who knows how to present things more than you? And hiring an attorney, you would still have to do all the work and get them the information. The only thing they would do is file the paperwork for you and then argue the law in the courtroom. I can do that myself. I mean, look, this is not easy for anyone to just do, but I've had a lot of public speaking experience. I've had a lot of business experience, and no one knows my story, and no one can file my filings better than me. Sandra says, or at least go through the stuff. Few people need to be fired over there. It is so obvious you are meticulous. Jay and his sheep are too confident in what they have put out. You just say they are too confident, or they aren't? I think they are not too confident, but they're trying to play it off like they are. Oh, I'm extremely meticulous. See, when I finish a filing, I run it through ChatGPT a couple of times, PDF. like 2, 3, 4 times. Then I manually read it 4 times, no matter how long it is. I also use Adobe PDF Reader. It reads it along as I read it, so I can go through it at a reasonable speed, and I double, triple, quadruple check for errors and formatting stuff and everything. So that's why even my long filings, it's very rare you're going to find any mistakes. But to be able to file like that, it takes a lot of work. It's a lot of time and a lot of work. And here's the thing: even when I go to the My Florida portal to file it in the case, I upload it, and then I could even double check it through their viewer before I submit. And I do one final check once I even upload it to the Florida court portal before I hit submit. So, I take pride in my work, and I want to be able to, show the court, in this case, the court is Judge Stacy. I want to show the court that, hey, I'm not just some other pro se self-represented litigant. I'm serious here. I've got a serious case. And I've got my I's dotted and my T's crossed. And I'm ready to go to trial if I have to go to trial. Let me see. ODN, you see the mistakes they made? That's what happens when you have other people doing the work, right? Well, here's the thing. He's having a hard time keeping up because there's just a lot going on, right? And he's trying to keep the YouTube audience happy and while trying to fight this case. And I think he knows that what he's done is not going to make him look good at all in the circuit civil case. So I think he's at the point right now where, hey, I don't care if my filings are perfect. I'll just file it, get the basic information out there. And he's probably right about that. The bottom line is, even though his filings are all over the place, that some of them do have some information. He's getting the information he wants to get out there, but it just looks very sloppy. But other things that he's filed are emotionally reactive filing. Like he filed a notice regarding the January 9th hearing, trying to accuse me that I lied about my availability. I mean, that's the funniest thing in the world. Over a administrative scheduling situation that has nothing to do with the actual case. It's just about scheduling through the JA. He's trying to make it come off like I lied under oath or something. No, and I didn't lie. And I don't have to tell you where I was at, throughout the entire duration of the block that was required to be available for. It doesn't matter. Even Judge Stacy ruled on it because he was trying to fight it. And we selected a new date, which is now in April. And he tries to bring this up at the spoliation hearing. I mean, he's going to annoy the judge. Don't you folks think? He's going to annoy the judge over a scheduling thing. We're here to talk about spoliation, not about a scheduling dispute that the JA handled. Is it? I mean, don't you? This guy doesn't realize the things that are going to make him look bad in front of the judge. I really think, I honestly, you're right, Odie, and I don't think he's as smart as he thinks he is, or I don't even think he's as smart as I thought he initially was. I think honestly, he really thinks that the judge is going to care about what I was doing on January 9th, you know, throughout the entire, block of that morning set of hearings. He really thinks that the judge is going to care. He really thinks he can discredit me or he really thinks he can create a credibility issue on that. And then I haven't forgotten about the Miss T filings, non-party filings, emails that she sent to the JA trying to schedule hearings, trying to get a protective order on me as a non-party because I mentioned her in the factual allegations to corroborate my case. But she could easily file for leave of court and file a motion to intervene, and she won't do that because then she becomes a party. Then she knows I can go after her, right? Which that may end up happening anyway. Once we get past the motion to dismiss / anti-slap. I've sat on many juries and worked many trials. Many of these pleadings are moot. Yeah, so what you're saying, Sandra, is you've seen similar pleadings like Mr. J has done, right? Which, are moot and ridiculous. But you've seen my filings, and my filings are like lawyer-like level. No, I'm not trying to say I'm all that. But you can certainly tell the difference. If you were on a jury and I was representing myself and Mr. J represents himself with his filings and his demeanor in court versus my filing and my demeanor in court, you'd be able to see the difference in contrast, right? Yeah, correct me if I'm wrong. I think that's what you're trying to say, in other words. She makes a big noise and wants the attention. That's it. That's true. If you're talking about T, that's exactly right. He doesn't understand what should be considered. Well, he doesn't understand what's noise and what actually matters, right? What he's filing is kind of like a kid in a grammar school play yard saying, "Oh, you took my ball away. I'm telling," right? He sounds like the guy that's telling, and then he tries to make me sound like I'm that guy. No, you're the guy that says, "I'm telling. I'm telling Judge Stacy about every single little breath you take on YouTube." A tattletale, right. Right. That's a great way to put it, Sandra. You nailed it. Between you and I, we nailed it. He's a tattletale, right? And the bottom line is, tattletales, typically are not going to present. They don't present. They don't present actionable evidence, right? Most of the stuff he submitted, most of the stuff, if not everything, is not actionable. There's nothing actionable. What is Judge Stacy going to do over the January 9th hearing because I was on GLM's panel during part of that block? You have no idea what I did during the other part of that block, and I don't have to tell you or anyone, and Judge Stacy's not even going to ask that. No one's going to invade on my privacy unless I want to tell them where I was at. That's on me. But the fact that he pushes this, it like makes him look like an unreasonable person. It makes him look like he's insane. And the last place, correct me if I'm wrong, Sandra, or anyone else, correct me if I'm wrong, the last place you want to come off unreasonable is in court in front of a judge. The last person that you want thinking is unreasonable is the judge, because once you get them in that mindset, then they're pretty much almost going to rule against you on everything. Now, that doesn't mean that exactly, but typically they're going to more so believe the other side than you if you keep coming off unreasonable, right? And that's what this guy hasn't learned. Being unreasonable may work on YouTube as part of his weird content, but being unreasonable in the court of law is only going to piss the judge off. And he's going to lose points with the judge. And yes, there is an unwritten point system. Everyone has a point system. What a judge is doing is analyzing both sides and seeing which one is more likely right and wrong, right? In a civil matter, it's about preponderance of the evidence. Same thing with stalking civil matters and harassment civil matters. You know, the injunction orders, right? It's preponderance of the evidence, meaning the judge needs to believe you 51% over the other side, and you win. The side that gets 51%. So if this guy doesn't even think part of the strategy is coming off reasonable and believable, then he's already lost half the battle. He doesn't get it. I'm giving him the answer right here. He still won't get it. I'm giving him the answer. Like, I could practically tell this guy what your best chance would be to try to beat me, and I still don't think he would beat me, but he still wouldn't do it, right? He still wouldn't take good advice that could help him in his case from anyone, right? Judge Bowie was very lenient. I would have said, Mr. J, I made my decision. You are dismissed. Instead, she allowed him to speak further and make a fool of himself. Well, I'll tell you what. Yeah, we're all saying, yeah, Judge Bowie should have cut him off, and that's how maybe 9 out of other 10 judges would have handled it, right? But the fact that she didn't cut him off, I'll tell you, that allowed him to show more of his cards, especially in the video. Man, what that guy! I swear to God, Your Honor, if you don't give this to me, Mr. Melas is gonna go run off to YouTube and gloat. Oh, God. I swear to God, man. I've never ever seen someone as entitled, man, as spoiled, as being so unaware, just so unaware, right? And he tries to come off like the rest of the world is unaware, right? But he is so unaware of his surroundings. He's so unaware of reality. It's just... Sandra says, then he stormed out of the courtroom, left his parents behind, and went down the elevator. So we've heard. Yeah. Yeah, Mr. Defendant, we had a potential witness there. We're not going to tell you who it is. But yeah, they took pictures. They showed us pictures, right? They have the right to be there. It's a public place, public hearing, right? You're a public figure. I don't know what the hell that was about, but somebody just turned right. And they were yelling. Maybe because they saw a camera. Yeah, I mean, the guy is not good at losing at all. Like, we've all lost before. I've lost many times. Right? I mean, just because you lose doesn't make you a loser. He thinks that anytime anyone loses, that makes them an automatic loser. That's his problem right there. He identifies even one loss makes you a loser, right? And everybody wins and loses at times. He just, I know he understands that, but he just doesn't want to comprehend it in that way, right? He lives in his own. He lives in a false sense of reality. He lives in an altered reality of this world, and I think a lot of it has to do with past trauma growing up. I think he's just really traumatized. And if I had to guess, to be real honest with you, I think he's holding on to resentment to his mother. I can say that, sir. In my opinion, I think you're holding on to resentment regarding your mother specifically. And here's the thing. The way that you've treated women that I've seen, what you did to Granny's watching Jess, you try to make that as a joke, but you got a 3-year restraining order on you for that, right? That's no joke, dude. Right? I think a lot of your behavior that you're projecting on the women, sir, comes from, the resentment you're still holding on to your mother that has the first same name as our judge in this circuit civil case, their first names are the same, right? Do we have to go down that route again? Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, Mr. Melas with an ASS. Mr. Melas is making fun of my mother and saying that your first name is the same as my mama's. Well, it is. I mean, that's a fact. I mean, it's not defamatory when it's true. I mean, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, it's defamation because Mr. Melas is saying that my mama has the same first name as you. Well, what is your mama's first name, Mr. Defendant? And then I'm not going to say it, but then he would say it, well, that's my name too. So how was that defamatory when we do have the same first name? Oh, man. I'll tell you when I filed the case and then I saw the name of the judge assigned to it and it was the same first name as the defendant's mom. I was like, this is ironic, man. The irony in this. I mean, the irony is just, it's beneath me, okay? Oh, man. Oh, man. Sandra Palacio says, doesn't that count for anything, Judge? She has the same name as you. Yeah. Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, doesn't that count for anything? Because my mama has the same first name as you do. So do I get points for that? Do I get points for that, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy? I got to get going soon. Oh, we are at 59 minutes. Oh yeah. Yeah, Your Honor, Honorable Judge Stacy, you didn't even take a look at my binder. At least your buddy Judge Bowie, she kind of looked at it. She kind of skimmed through it, but I think that she had already made up her mind. Well, yeah, because she saw the docket was full of garbage by you, full of made up stuff. Saw my responses, and I came into court through Microsoft Teams. Right, he was actually in the courtroom. I was on Microsoft Teams, and I was cool, calm, and collected. And he brought some evidence that he didn't submit with the court, and Judge Bowie said, "Well, you didn't get a copy of that to, the respondent. Do you have any objection, Mr. Melas?" "No, Your Honor. Let him let him present whatever the hell he wants." I said it in more polite terms. Obviously, the video is out there publicly. Let him. I'm thinking to myself, no objection, Your Honor. Let him fucking burn himself. I mean, I didn't say that language, but in my head, I was like, calm. Yeah, I have no objection, Your Honor. The petitioner can present whatever he'd like, and he can have any witness he'd like. No objections on anything on my end. And then Judge Bowie's probably like, well, there's a difference in contrast there between the respondent and the petitioner. I mean, come on. The guy doesn't get it. He does not understand contrast. Put a 1 in the chat if you think the defendant does not understand contrast. Mr. Melas. ODN says 1. He doesn't understand the contrast of how you come off in front of a judge is what makes you more believable or not. Like when you're trying to stop something, this is why when you go to court, let them present whatever the hell they want. No objection. Let them burn themselves, right? One of the best ways, and here's the thing, I'm not looking to compete with anyone, but in this situation, I'm forced to compete, right? And what's the best way to defeat your opponent in this situation is to let them burn themselves, right? Let them talk, let them present whatever they want, let them burn themselves. Now, you better have your evidence ready too, which I do, but hey, whatever he wants to present, whatever. All right, we are back live. We are back live. Yeah, that Florida lady is talking about juries can't see the filings. To a certain extent, that is true. They're not given access to the filings during court sessions. But who's to say they're not going onto the court website and looking it up from their home or apartment afterwards, even though they're technically not supposed to do that? I mean, look. But what they can't do is they can't use those filings in their decision. They have to base it off of evidence that is presented in court. Basically, they're supposed to have an unbiased opinion or an unbiased decision based on just evidence alone that's provided, not looking at motions and other stuff like that, motions and notices and all of that. So that's just the way it's supposed to work. So I don't know. She was trying to say that you being on juries saying that you had access to files. You never said that. You're saying that you probably saw the files afterwards or outside of the courthouse, which is your right to do so if it's publicly available. You just can't base your decision on anything besides the evidence presented exhibit style at the court hearings, at the court sessions. Oh, you know where I'm at. There's no public rebroadcast. the defendant has gone underground. It's funny to me that at least one of them is watching our every move, and it's gotten really old at this point. Like, it's so old, and I really wish these people, when they see what Don and I put out this Wednesday, they'll see it. They'll see it, and yeah, Don and I have nothing to hide. Like, we tackled a lot of things head on, um, but a lot of these people. I mean, it's gotten old. It's gotten really old, and I think they realize how hot the stove is. Right? This just keeps getting worse. Right? And in order for them to save their face, they have to keep doing things that keep giving me exhibits and copyright takedowns and new court case filings, and stuff. Like, they keep giving me things to use against them legally because they have to keep amping things up to appear more dominant to their audience. And it's really, man, I've just never met a more unreasonable, ridiculous group ever that doesn't care about what happens in court. They care more about what their audience thinks about them. They care more about continuing to appear dominant over me, which I believe even their own audience doesn't believe that, at least not anymore. Maybe they have in the past, but even their own audience doesn't believe it. Babe, if you haven't already done so, send me what you're going to send me behind the scenes in a text. It's all good. Huh. Yeah, ODN. Oh, yeah, you're talking about me? I'm back? Yeah. Anyway, I got to run, folks. 67 minutes, an hour, and 7 minutes. Have a good one. Oh, babe, do you have a quote? Do you have a quote? Let me know if you have a quote. Do you have a quote? Should I wait for your quote? I'm going to wait for Dawn to see if she has a quote. So, do you want to skip the quote for tonight, babe? Only a 3-second delay on mobile, ultra low latency. You should get this right away. Do you want to skip? No quote. Okay. Thank you, babe. Send me what you're going to send me in a text in the next few minutes, and I'll see you in a little bit. Got a lot of love for all of you. Have a good one. Thank you, Sandra, Tia, ODN, GLM, anyone else that was here. Have a good one. Take care, and as always, be good to each other. See you all tomorrow. Good night, everyone.